back to some Dragonlance. We're now on to DL3. Yay! DL3 Dragons of Hope, which I'm very excited to
I hope we don't die.
I'm very excited to actually run. The characters are all boosted, so most of the characters in the party are now sitting around 7th level. We have a couple 6th level characters as well.
I should really be 8th level because I killed that guy, but whatever.
You don't know if you killed Verminard last time.
He's dead.
Before we get to that, though...
I know.
Well, Brooke should be 8th level for kicking the guy off the cliff, too, or whatever it was.
We do have a sponsor now. We have Canadian Dice sponsoring us for all your dice needs.
Totally running over us.
I don't even care now. For all your dice needs, go to CanadianDice.ca and use the code OMRD, initials for Old Men Rolling Dice, and you don't have to buy the Old Men Rolling Dice. You're still going to get 10% off for using that code, and we're going to see a little kickback.
But why wouldn't you order the Old Men Rolling Dice? They're amazing.
Because if you order the Old Men Rolling Dice, you get the captain's guarantee that they will not roll a 1 at the worst, most possible time.
Apparently, they roll pretty well.
Buy often.
Apparently, they roll pretty well.
I've had them. I have not rolled below 15 on them. Except for the one time I used them to roll a death save, I rolled a 1.
They may dent your table, but they're guaranteed not to roll a 1.
Hey,
they will take it to the bank, baby. Captain's guarantee.
What can you do?
You can also use them as sling bullets.
Can you? They've got some weight.
These are heavy.
They've got some weight to them. Yeah,
you hit somebody with this.
They'll know.
If you just notice the room lit up, it's because I took my hat off.
It's okay. I had the same issue. I shaved my head yesterday.
Okay, so let's recap.
You make the insults way too easy.
Let's recap now. So last time on the Dungeons and the Dragons, the party infiltrated the elf/dwarf fortress of Pax Tharkus to attempt to free the free people of the area that were being held there, and to cause a big enough diversion that maybe the elves would not have to fight, in Qualinesti would not have to fight on so many different fronts. That part is still to be seen as to whether that was effective or not. But when we join our characters tonight, they're leading a party of almost 1,000 refugees away from Pax Tharkus. The refugees have approximately 40 wagons and carts and things like that. Thank you, Monster. And so you're not moving incredibly fast, right? And you've got a lot of...
you.
Says me. And who else is going to say it? And you've got people from Solus, Gateway, and what was that other city up there?
Haven.
Thank you. Very good. You get a brownie point.
I pay attention sometimes.
Yeah, Haven is the other one. So we've left Pax Tharkus. We're traveling on foot. And who or what is leaving the... Hey, thank you very much for the sub, Gareth. Who or what is leading the way? Everyone should be at max.
Probably Dudley Do-Right.
We're gonna mess around with things here, and everybody should be at max hit points. Is everyone at max hit points?
Yep.
Only if it's 50.
And can everyone see this map with the little purple eye for you guys? Okay.
Yep.
Can you see the numbers on your map?
I can see one.
No.
Yes, I can see a 28.
Oh shit! I didn't hide it. Hold on a second.
Let's go there.
I don't see any numbers.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything right from the get-go.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so one hex on here is about a mile.
Okay.
As you can see, Pax Tharkus right now is about 3 miles behind you. So
Yep.
You've done a little bit of walking.
So, if we're going back with the story, even though we've maxed out our hit points and done all that, at this point, Steve's still wrecked.
Yes, let's just assume that everyone is tired and worn out. We are gonna fudge things a little bit and say that that Grinnick has been able to cast Cure Disease on Elliston. Do we remember that last time? Elliston was suffering from some sort of...
He had cancer.
Yeah, basically he had cancer.
Didn't we have an elf that suffered from dead?
Yes. Lorana's brother, Gilthanus, died in Pax Tharkus.
It wasn't so much dead as in...
Cremated?
Obliterated?
Incinerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure dead falls under incinerated.
It's a little bit more dead, because you can do things with a body, but if there's no body left, then...
This is true. So now...
Dead plus.
Now we're on foot, and we're on sort of this broken road / trail leading up into the mountains. And it is a steep... Obviously, we can't see this from a flat map, but you're climbing up into the mountain range. Like, it's a steep climb. Okay. Anonymous. So help me God, Artemis, if that's you.
It wasn't me this time, I swear to God.
Okay. I'm going to give it to you. So listen.
It wasn't me.
I'd just like to know, like, is anyone pushing forward? Oh my gosh, thank you. Follows and...
Logically...
follows and subs. Thanks, everybody. Josh, welcome.
Logically, it should be the Rangers.
Well, we should have one.
How
I was
one
just
wasn't
going to ask.
hurt at all.
I was just going to ask Kira. Do you want to lead, be up ahead scouting, or do you want to be in the rear, making sure we're not being followed? One of us should be in the rear, making sure we're not being followed, and one of us should be breaking trail.
I'm at the back,
give you the choice.
as usual.
Well, I would assume that Lorana is going to be up in front, so I would be up in front with her.
All right, then I'll be at the back as a pack, making sure we're not getting followed.
Okay. What about the rest of us? Where's our knight?
I will be near enough the front to be able to react, but not give us away.
Are you with the
scouts?
So you're with the people?
Yes.
How far? How far is Kira ahead of the train?
Oh my god.
Like, are you a really far advanced? Are we talking like half a mile ahead of them?
Be afraid.
I would say
Be
like
very afraid.
maybe like 100 feet.
Okay. So you're ahead, but not that far ahead in the grand scheme of things. Like there's
just like I can get there if I need to.
There's 800 people moving up this path. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
I'm going to stay within enough that I can throw Chance if we get into a fight. That way she has a little bit of a boost.
Okay.
So I'm going to be following around like that.
And I'm going to say that your sister, we're going to say Grenlead is like tethered to you essentially. I'm going to say that Tika goes wherever Steve goes.
So she's at the back with me because I'll be carrying small children and old people if they start getting behind.
Okay. So you're
basically going to double as a pack mule, even though I'm wounded.
I'm yeah. If Steve's willing to pull like a wagon, they load it up with extra people and everything.
Yeah, not a problem.
You notice that Tika loves that sort of role for you, and she also is like, you know, she served in the last home for many years. A lot of these people know her, and she is more than willing to, like, you know, she's maybe carrying like a kid on her shoulders or like piggybacking, etc. So if you're helping, she's helping. The two of you just look like a wonderful pair. Worm, where are you? I mean, I would assume I don't want to immediately tether you to the knight. So where is Worm?
Probably closer to Steve.
Okay.
Just because he is wounded and we've had like a couple bonding moments. And I'm
That's my girl.
Yes, you have. Okay, cool.
Like, I'm not.
Rook's like far behind. Like I'm like almost a kilometer behind, looking for the bad guys to make sure we're not being followed. So I got enough time to.
Okay, so
you're
you're trailing back.
Way back, yeah.
It sounds good. So your lungs ache from breathing the bitter cold air, and a heavy snowfall blurs the mountains ahead to either side. So you're essentially walking into the snow squall.
Yay!
Rook's Canadian. He loves it.
Yeah, winter's coming.
As I said, there's about 800 people, but you know, mathematically, we're talking like 300 families here. Okay. You've just liberated them, and spirits seem pretty high. You can hear war cries echoing from behind you at Pax Tharkus. As you move up the trail, wind-driven snow overtakes you, and your weary refugees sort of begin to trudge against the wind. You know, the wind, the snow, they're pushing uphill. They've got everything they literally own on their backs. They've taken as much food as they could from where they were being held captive before leaving.
I was going to ask about that.
So there is food, but not a lot. All right. So I'm gonna move the eye on the map, sort of where you've traveled. We're gonna move you ahead about 3-4 miles here, and you're heading now south.
Whenever we stop for camp, I will put up the secure cottage for like children, elderly,
all right,
type people. It'll be 200 square feet, so not super huge, but enough for people to kind of bunk in if they needed to.
You can put a lot of people in that if they're kids and old folks.
Yeah.
So Kira, you reach a point now on the road where you realize you've got some choices to make. You can continue on the road south here, but to the east, you know, you've got a bit of flat ground, and you are guessing it's probably leading to a pass to the east. There is a very steep pass to the west that the wagons and that can make it up and over by the looks of it, and you'll be off the road to your west on the other side of those mountains here. Can you see where I'm seeing?
Yep, I see it.
Yeah.
While Rook is in the rear, like a kilometer behind everybody, every time I get an opportunity to, I'm just going to cut down a tree so it falls over the road. It'll be easy. It won't take them long to clear it, but it'll be enough that they've got to stop, clear it, so they can the enemy has to bring their wagons over just enough. Yeah. Keep doing it just enough to slow their speed. I mean, if they send horses after us, they're just going to jump over the trees, but it's enough to slow the main bodies.
All right, then. While Rook is cutting down one of these trees, and it's almost ready to fall, the snow, you've got snow flurries everywhere, right? You can still hear the caravan, even though you're about a kilometer back. You can still hear the caravan. Like, there's a lot of them. They make a lot of noise, and it echoes down the walls of the mountains here.
Yep.
Every so often, Rook feels like a darker shadow passes overhead.
Dragons.
Like, would I think it might be a dragon shadow passing overhead?
Yeah. Yeah, you think it's...
All right, as soon as I finish cutting this tree, I'm going to run up. I'll run back to the front, run back to the party, just let them, I think something's going on. Then run back the way I'm going.
Rook, Rook is always sort of strategically minded. The snow squalls are probably helping you right now.
Yeah.
In that anyone flying overhead is not going to be able to spot you on the ground unless they're very close to the ground.
Yeah, so that's what I know. As soon as I fall this tree, I'm going to run back to the main group, find them, let them know, and say, like, no fires tonight. Then run back where I was going to keep slowing down the arm. Not slowing up, just to be a pain in the ass to whoever's following us.
Kira,
fires.
You got a choice to make. You're welcome to, ask the people at the head of the column. But you can take them east over flat ground to where you think beyond the snow there might be a pass. There's definitely a
Yeah,
pass
I
to the
would-
west. It's very steep though, but definitely could be done with the wagons. It's not insurmountable. Or you can continue south on the road.
Okay, so I would get with obviously the rest of the group. I would get with Lorana and I'm sorry, what's that guy's name? The one that we cured from
Elliston?
Elliston.
Mhm.
I would get with all of them real quick and say, where are we supposed to be headed? Do we have any idea where we're supposed to be headed?
Yeah, so when you get back, they've already kind of there's more than just Elliston and Lorana. There is a man named Lakar who claims to be representing the Seekers. If you remember, the Seekers are the people from Haven that worship made-up gods.
Yep.
There is a plainsman named Briar who is sort of representing the plainsman of the group. There is a half-elf by the name of Brookland that the elves and half-elves are sort of following, and Lorana is further supporting Brookland.
And I'm sorry, what was the first guy's name that you said? The
There's
one from Haven?
Lokar, Locar.
Okay.
Wasn't Ellistan a seeker as well?
He was, but he had a bit of a chat with Grennick last time, and
Right.
Grennick healed him, and I don't
He's seen
think
the light.
I don't think Grennick has actually given him the discs to study from yet, but there was some talk that he would be interested in reading these discs that have given Grennick his power.
Right.
Okay. Now, this small council of the people that have already formed up, what they tell you is that they need somewhere where they can rest for the coming evening. They're not going to be able to do a full day's push here. Nobody's got that kind of strength. So preferably, the general consensus you get is they don't want to be on the road, but you know that the road will be an easier route of travel for them.
Right. But at this
They're
point, I think
they're far more interested though in finding somewhere to hide and rest.
Kira would suggest safety over comfort at the moment, and probably suggest the way to the east. Just because I realize that we could go up over the mountains, but with all of those wagons and elderly and stuff like that, it is going to take a really long time, and plus we'll be higher up, and I don't think that we can hide our numbers way up in the mountains like that.
Everyone agrees with you except for Brookland.
We kill him.
Brooklyn thinks that's
Agreed.
That's just the point. That if you take the caravan up over that steep pass, there is probably valleys that they could hide in and shelter in.
You know they've got dragons, right? Brooklyn. They can fly and scout.
He says that the mountains have many valleys. They can't possibly check them all. And these storms are probably, these winds and snows are probably hiding us from them. Everyone else, though, is like, I think the easier path to the east is more what
if asked, Rook is going to go with Brooklyn and say, go to take the mountains because the snow will cover it.
What time of day is it right now?
Late afternoon.
I would say we could scout ahead a little bit, but I don't know that we'll be back before dark.
Rook has reported in that there are dragons in the air, and that I think you said Rook was going to suggest no fires tonight. That immediately,
Rook's saying no. We're suggesting no fires. Take the path he agrees with Brooklyn because the snow will keep us protected from the dragons, and I'm going to run back and keep trying to delay the bad guys.
The three others though say that if they can't light fires tonight, if we take that high pass, it's going to be colder. People are going to freeze.
Yeah, that's my concern.
They should have dressed warmer then.
I sort of look at the rest of the party like, I should not be in charge of this. What are we doing? I'm looking at you, Benedict.
I've got the.
See, if it was just
cottage.
us, I would say. Sorry, go ahead.
I've got the cottage, but that's it, and it's not going to hold a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it was just us, I would say take the pass to the west.
Same.
I agree strategically, it's a better idea, but
trying to get
when we have 800 refugees with us,
up and over a mountain, that's insanity.
I mean, it still might be the better option strategically. I just don't know if we'll get them to do it.
If we get into the forest,
that's the best option, then I will defer to you because I don't know.
Like if we knew there was a forest somewhere.
There are forests everywhere in these mountains.
So going east, we would assume to get into a forest as well.
Mm-hmm.
At least
I think it would be easier to talk them into pushing. Yeah, maybe easier to talk them into pushing through the night going east. We can tell them we'll find a good spot to camp and just keep pushing them.
Let's go east.
It'll be warmer.
Grinnick says east?
Yep.
As much as I want to say west, I think given the situation, east is probably...
When Grinnick says east, everybody knowing that, he's a true cleric, there is a lot of support for that all of a sudden.
Except for the Seeker.
So east then?
What do Ellison and Lorena think?
They think east. They think east. Okay. However, Lorena is Lorena tends to agree that that Brooklyn probably knows what he's talking about, but she tends to believe that she looks back down the column, which you can't even see the entire column, right? Because of the snow squalls. She's like, and she says I don't know that they'll make that crossing.
I don't either. Practically speaking, east is the best option. It gets us off the road for one, and it's a little bit easier path because there's elderly and children. Tactically speaking, unless you want to lose a lot of people, east is the best option.
Then take us east.
I'm surprised she's holding it so well together with her brother turned into a crispy critter.
You feel like Lorena, when she gets in amongst the people, she's grown up having to put on a very brave face or, a different personality in front of the elves of Qualinesti, and you think she's just fallen into her groove here again.
As long as we don't talk about barbecue around her, she'll be fine.
Exactly. Ask her how her brother's doing.
Okay, so the plan is that you head east. Kira, it's not long to the east, a few miles, when you do spot a not a steep pass like there was to the west, but something far more gentler ahead. But it is passing through it's passing through a set of mountains. There's a narrow gap.
Like it's a ravine or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. All right. Well, everybody, weapons at the ready, and keep your eyes on the ridge because God knows we've had enough bad luck.
Okay.
Watch for falling snow that has no reason to be falling.
So,
and, heavier clumps.
Rook, you soon realize that the group has not taken the West Ridge, but has headed east. But you have not seen another dragon sighting.
And that's the last we ever saw of Rook.
That's when Rook died.
So...
You're always so optimistic.
Once you get through that ravine, Kira, a hardwood forest provides some shelter.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something peculiar about these woods.
Of course there is.
All the trees lean west. as if some great power from the east pushed them.
I would ask, like, Aliston or Lorana if they know any rumors of this place.
Well, the east
or anybody.
They did. So you quickly backtrack to the group. You also notice that the eastern side of the trees have burn marks of increasing severity.
Lovely.
So Lorana says that in ages past there was a war here.
Okay.
She says that the war was known as the Dwarfgate War.
Does that mean anything to Kira? Like, having grown up in Kolonos?
No.
Okay. Can you explain?
Dwarf.
She admits that she doesn't have a lot of knowledge about it. She thinks it has some. There was a wizard, and the dwarves. There was some sort of civil war.
Okay. Well, maybe once we get everybody batted down, maybe we can go take a look, and I look at Worm.
I'm at the back with Steve.
Okay. Well,
you're gonna have to come find us.
Okay. Well, once we settle down for the night. But I would also ask Lorana, did your brother ever tell you anything about this area? Or anything down
too soon.
Did your brother ever tell you anything about this area?
Look, it is do or die time right now. She can be sad in a little while.
If anybody know about the big burn marks on the trees, it'll probably be him, eh?
Oh, no. For those that don't know that are watching us for the first time, Gilthanus, the elven prince, was killed by dragon fire last module.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Kira. Just tell her to suck it up. We'll cry about it later.
She doesn't.
Yeah. How many times have you ever told a woman that and it worked out really well for you?
Worked out perfect. Why do you think I'm divorced?
There it is.
There it is. So listen, she doesn't know anymore. She goes, I don't remember any stories. You do notice a sort of change of tone though come over her when she begins to think about Gilthanus again. As you're talking about this and asking about the trees, the back of the column sort of relays a message forward that people are starting to fall behind, that they need somewhere to rest either now or soon.
Yeah, we got to get them and get everybody in the trees and have them sort of under tree cover as best as we can get.
Okay.
And...
So I'm going to say that you push for another mile or so. And blackened and scarred tree trunks can be seen through the snow. And as mentioned before, the trees were all leaning. Now most of them have all fallen. They've all fallen in the same direction. Hey, Hampod. Welcome, Rick. I think Rick was streaming tonight.
He was.
So a cry goes out down the column that camp is starting to be made. And the back slowly catches up to the front. And everyone sort of, begins to make camp. Some fires are being lit.
We'll have to send out patrols to go kick sand over them and in their faces.
A number of people warn, for 300 families, there are maybe half a dozen to a dozen fires in amongst the camp.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep them small, like.
I was gonna say, do any of them have enough skills to keep them invisible?
They'll be seen for miles, and if we're worried about dragons, they'll be seen from the air from even further distance. Get them out.
All right, they're exiled. Get them out of the camp. They're gone.
They're gone. Those families are gone.
You
Take
are
their
like
food.
the meanest knight to ever exist.
I'm worried about the greater good.
Yeah.
Greater
Protect as
good.
many as we can and take the food from the ones that we can't and get them out of here. I'm
Remind
kidding.
me not to annoy you somewhere along the lines here. I know who I'm not going camping with.
So do you go around and sort of martially remove all fires?
No, but like between me and Rook, considering that we're rangers and we've been out on the road for a while, I'm assuming we can at least teach them how to make fires that are small and smokeless.
Sure. I don't disagree with you.
So we need to teach them discipline first. The orders were no fires.
Okay, just calm your tits there.
Worm is totally setting the fire.
Yeah, Worm is definitely setting the fires.
Just burning hands. Like, here, I'll get it for you.
Did you set up your shelter?
Yes.
So, and how many does it hold? Does it say?
It doesn't have
the 8 of us, and then we close the door.
It doesn't have a number attached to it. It's not like the tiny hut.
Okay.
It just says, this is the size of it based on your level. So it's 210 square feet.
So if everybody stands, we can fit 210 in there.
And it lasts for 1d4 hours plus 1 hour per level of the caster. So,
2, 3, 10 hours.
10 hours? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
$210 square feet. What are we talking there, everybody? What do we think? That's like
10 it's very small.
10 by 10?
It's like 10 by
100. That's 100 square feet. So like 10 by 20.
10 by 20.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
But there's kids can be on laps or sleeping on people, and
people can pile up.
You get a dozen, maybe.
Yeah.
A dozen in there.
Sorry, Dadalorian. I'll add that for next time. The Summon Lord Soth button.
And there is an invisible servant as well in there who can just like.
Yeah, it does say that there's 8 bunks.
Yeah.
So 16 people are sleeping well. I can tell you this, that the families sort of delegate the weakest and as many of the youngest of the children to go in.
Yeah, well, the cart that I've been pulling, I've already stated, has probably got a lot of the older and slower and smaller.
That's correct.
In it, so probably mostly my cart ends up in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which means I get to sleep outside of a door.
Rook's going to go back down the trail again, like to the rear, and I'll be on sentry, a kilometer back.
So if you go, okay, I'm not telling you what to do. If you go 2 miles back, though, you can actually see the canyon that you guys entered.
Down the road that we just left?
If you're 2 miles behind the group.
All right, I'll go 2 miles back so I can see ahead. So I can watch our rear. My whole thing is to give them lots of warnings so they can get everybody up and out.
Okay.
When the main body shows up.
Okay. So it's soon night, and the snow flurries sort of pass. Grenek, a runner comes and finds you and your sister, and they say, we've been sent. There's a council sort of forming, and they asked me to find you, Mr. Sparkhammer. It's like a teen boy.
Aye, lad. Show us the way.
Okay, so he leads you back, and as well as all of you sort of hear that this council is formed, and at one point or another, someone sort of implies that you should maybe be there. So a few campfires.
I have to be.
A few campfires flicker in the snow-covered wilderness. Around them are gathered tired, weak, and scared families. you find yourself in sort of a makeshift council meeting where a downed tree has almost been turned into a table, and people have pulled up sort of like stumps and stones and things like that to sit on. There is a lantern burning very low on the table, just enough that everybody can see one another's faces. As you guys move up, the same people that I mentioned before, Briar, Brookland, Elliston, and Lokar sit there. Lorana stands close, but not seated like a council member. But they do ask Grinnick to sit as a council member to be the deciding vote, as they only have currently 4 members. They need a 5th.
He will not be the speaker of this group. We all do things together.
They all say, I'm going to say that Briar, the plainsman, he says, if it's true, if the gods have picked you, we want them represented here.
What is this conversation about?
You
notice
Grenlead, excuse me,
yep.
Grenlead probably went, but she would have put her cloak on.
Okay. So we're going to say
so she's there.
Grenlead's invisible?
Yeah, she's there, but then, yeah, if shit goes south, she can protect her brother. They have no idea she's there.
Briar says that these four people have the trust of the refugees, and that the people will more likely trust the 4 of them than all of you, even though you freed them. The people of the different communities, they feel will follow them better. They have already coined the term the Council of Freedom. But they feel that, like, you being a voice of the return of the gods, it would be disrespectful to not have you sit at the council.
Can I confer with my group in private for a second?
Sure.
I'm not there. I'm back still sleeping in front of a building. Nobody made me go.
Okay, then Tika's not there either.
Sorry, guys.
I would be speaking to the group all together, and I would say, would you like me to sit and be the deciding vote, or do we do this together like we've always done?
Doesn't seem like they want to have anything to do with us. They just want your approval.
Yeah, we suck.
Hey, we've been listening to him since he got the magic staff.
Hey, you're not there. You're not there. You just said that.
And Rook's not there either. Rook's down the road.
I'll shut my mic off.
I mean, it couldn't hurt to sit in on their whatever they're doing, so we know what their intentions are. But I don't think, even though they say you're the deciding vote,
the intention is not to block you from to block the rest of you from making decisions. The intention is that if the refugees are going to have a say in anything, then they'll speak through this council, and to have someone who has the ear of the gods, they feel that is a good omen to have on the council.
We've trusted you so far.
Right,
you might as well.
Yeah. So I would turn around and say, all right, I will sit to this council.
To add one more thing, Lorana says to you all that she doesn't believe the council is looking to take control of the decision making as much as to keep a line of communication between you and the people.
I didn't realize we were that unapproachable.
Well, there's 300 families here. It could get pretty disorganized pretty quickly.
So basically, the council's going to keep the refugees in line and get them to do what we want them to do. Perfect.
That's the hope, Lorana says.
And why are you not sitting on this council?
Lorana says that Brooklyn better represents elves and half-elves than I do.
How is that possible? You're the princess of the elves and you're in love with a half-elf. I'd say you're a perfect representative.
She says it's just a matter of optics. Like, it's how it looks.
Does that really matter right now? We are in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a snowstorm.
She says she looks at you very sternly, and says, "Exactly. It doesn't matter right now. This ruffles less feathers."
Alright. I will trust your judgment on this. You would know politics better than me.
What would your brother do in this situation?
I'd punch Benedict right in the fucking nose.
I snicker.
Punch Benedict, push Worm into snowbank.
Yeah, I deserve that.
Oh my God.
Wash her face out with snow.
I'm sorry. It was just.
Sorry, it slipped.
So,
ladies and gentlemen of the chat, these are adults playing D&D.
So I
How
won't go
dare
over
you, sir?
I
Okay.
resemble that remark.
So they sit down and they do a little bit of formality, almost like it's like in a council, like a town council meeting in one of the old towns, calling to order and all the rest of it. And they say the biggest concern that they're addressing is finding a temporary place of shelter for the refugees.
No shit.
They then look to you, Grennick, and the Lokar of the Seekers. You maybe even recognize Lokar. I mean, you were a Seeker for a short time. He says, Grennick, you're a dwarf? Aren't the gates of Thorbarden somewhere in these mountains? And Thorbarden would be the mountain dwarves. You went looking for them, if you remember in your backstory. You tried to find these gates, and you couldn't.
Yeah. I have lost the location. I not know where they're at.
But if we could find the gates of Thorbarden, perhaps the mountain dwarves would take us in. Offer us shelter.
And we run into the risk that they will not. Dwarves like to steel themselves up when danger is around and they know that they can't win.
With that, the plainsman, Briar, he says, yes, but we have you, right? A dwarven cleric. They surely wouldn't turn you away.
Lad, I can't tell you. Last they knew, the gods did not exist. They might think it's a trick.
They again look. Everyone sort of looks to one another.
Where'd it go?
They wouldn't turn Grennick away, but they turned the other 799 away.
Do you say that?
Yep.
Do we think the mountain dwarves are that cruel?
Yes.
What do we know about them?
About mountain dwarves?
Yeah.
So back during the Dwarfgate Wars, and when the Cataclysm rolled in, and the mountain dwarves shut their doors, not only on the outside world, but literally their hill dwarf brothers, were left out.
They sound like nice people.
That was quite the dick move to do. I think you can write the dwarves off.
So he says Brooklyn says the more important, Thorbarden can wait. We need a temporary place to shelter these people now, like as soon as possible.
Really?
Oh shit!
I had no idea.
I like this Brooklyn guy.
We can't go night to night hiding our fires. We need somewhere to set up where we can begin to maybe hunt game to fill pots with stew and meat.
I think Grinnick would call Kira over because he knows that she's the one that knows how to do all that stuff.
Okay.
I approach.
I support that approach.
I concur.
I continue sleeping.
I concur.
Kira is not who you want making decisions for shit.
Well, Brooklyn looks to Kira and says, the forest here is pretty worn down. Is there perhaps, somewhere closer that you would know of that we could take shelter? If we pass through the mountains, we'll eventually reach the plains.
Okay.
And my understanding that they're nothing but a bog now.
Great. Because that's where we need to be. I would like to avoid that.
Elliston says, "What if we travel east to the sea?" Well,
I mean,
perhaps the dragon armies haven't pushed that far.
Do we know if there's like settlements in that direction at all?
You're in a set of mountains that are pretty much known for being like Dwarven mountains, Dwarven settlements. That you could get lucky and find a hill dwarf settlement somewhere in these mountains. But, you don't know of any.
Okay. Grinnick would know of any hill dwarf ones?
Is it like
I'm going to say that Grinnick has a faint, sort of faintly remembers that there's a hill dwarf settlement near a lake. But you're pretty sure it's west of where you are, not to the east.
I would make that clear to the council, of course, but without making a decision to go that way, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Just the information.
How much? Okay, so practically speaking, food-wise, how many days do you think you guys have for now? Because that's going to make the decision a little different.
Okay.
I'm assuming the council would have talked to all the refugees to see if anybody had actually been south of Pax Tharkus before?
Yes,
or whatever.
They haven't.
Okay.
Please remember that prior to you guys coming to Pax Tharkus's walls were sort of manned by a group of elven and dwarven contingent, and really people stayed to the north because prior to you guys going to Qualinesti, the elves weren't always all that welcoming. Like there had been lots of wars and infighting in these lands for a long time, so people sort of became cellular and a little bit maybe even xenophobic.
It was pre-Cataclysm when the three races were all working together, right? So it's been A long time.
But even before the
Dragons and
cataclysm,
gods.
even before the cataclysm, there was times where like elves and humans warred and things like that, and dwarves and elves and etc. So, and the lands have changed a lot. Like these mountains probably don't look the same for someone who visited them prior to the cataclysm, right? And so it's sort of so that the people of Solus and Haven and Gateway would not have come south and pushed past Paktharkis for anything. Like they would have kept to the north. They were trading with the plainsmen of Abyssinia, but they would like this is all lands that don't, you know. There's actually some concern. Like people have been talking like not only do dwarves live in these mountains, but ogres live in these mountains. Like they're not necessarily a hospitable place.
Okay. Again, how many days worth of rations do you think you have?
The council sort of talks back and forth, and they think that they can probably stretch their current rations to 4 days.
Okay. So, and you said each one of these things is a mile, yes?
Yeah.
One of these hexes?
Yeah. And you can assume that the caravan, that like when you have everybody, you're going to be able to move about 10 miles a day.
Okay, now where I was going with this, but if so, this area here, the tree cover and stuff like that, is it okay?
There's no tree cover. The trees are stripped bare. They look burnt, and they're either leaning or toppled.
Okay. Because I was gonna say if this is a place that they could hunker down, we could go ahead and check. Because if I remember correctly, a person who like actually does a lot of walking can go about 20 miles a day.
Oh yeah, you could outpace the refugees without, like, if you leave them behind.
Yeah.
You
so like if we can find a place to like stick them for like a day or so, we can scout ahead, figure out what's up ahead of us, and come back. That way it gives us a chance to find better shelter for one, and we can move a little faster.
I think one of the rangers should go west to try to find that settlement. Because if we find a settlement in the Hill Dwarf, we're golden. Because they'll talk to me.
Okay, but the problem with that is if you drop 800 refugees on a village that's got like 50 people in it, you're gonna totally fuck everything up for them.
You don't drop them all. You take the people that you need the help, that need the shelter, and you kind of stick on the outskirts. But if we go to the ocean, I think we're going to be in the, it's going to clear up, and then there's going to be water, and we're just going to get dragons all up our keisters.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of going to the coast, but
it's basically a matter of picking a direction and sending a scouting party to find a suitable place to build a settlement. And if we've only got 4 days worth of food, we don't have enough time for that. Guess we better teach them how to hunt pretty quick, eh?
I feel like we need to go scout ahead, but the problem is that there's nowhere for them to hide right now.
Yeah, we got to find
the hills that are nearby, that's just south of us, that little ridge line there.
Yeah.
Does it look like we could find maybe caves or something like that? Anything that they could hide in while we go look?
So that ridge line to the south of you right now, like you can see them. Those are mountains. So if you cannot move the refugees into sort of hexes that are just mountains, you would there's cliffs and ridges to climb. You guys can move through them, but the wagons aren't going to make it.
Why don't we set up a bunch of... I'm sure there's people in the refugees that know how to scout. We could go one direction, like Steve's saying in chat here. We could have 4 scouting parties go 4 different directions. We can be one of them. Go out for a day, maybe 2, come back.
I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that. Like, because we can move faster without all the wagons and stuff.
Yeah.
We just need to find a place that we can go.
Chat says you can roll a d8 for the compass directions and just trust the dice gods.
Who's rolling? That's what I want to know.
In dice we trust.
So I would ask then the council, do you have people in your groups that are skilled trackers?
Oh,
Wait, we've already done this. We've already gone each our own direction for 5 years looking for evidence of the gods. Why don't we just split up now, look for a camp, and come back? Roll. This is what we
before
do.
there were dragons running around here. I don't want to split
They'll be
all of us
attracted to the
up.
big group. We're safer on the fringe.
Preach, knight, preach. Briar says to you that like the plainsmen, there's many trackers amongst the plainsmen.
Okay, and how many, like, what kind of numbers are we talking about here? Like,
how about hunters?
Like, split up in a couple of groups here.
Of the 300 families, at least 100 to 150 are plainsmen and women.
Okay, so scouting parties of like 4 or 5,
and hunting parties to increase our rations.
Okay, if they've got 100 family of plainsmen, they're adept at survival. We'll leave them all here, and those fuckers can keep everyone fed, get another day or 2 of rations, and we can split up in 2 groups and go our main directions that we'd planned, east and west. But I'm going to go back to sleep now.
I swear to God,
Grinnick definitely wants to go west, so he's pretty much made his mind up. He's going west.
I mean, strategically, we wanted to go west at the beginning if it was just us anyway, so I think west is a good way to go.
So listen, just to keep things moving, the council decides they agree with you. They'll keep the camp where it is right now for at least another day while you guys go and see what you can find. 1 day means that you've got 10 hexes of travel to return the 10 hexes, right?
Keep the refugees here until we come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, not a day till we come back.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We got to find a place. That's why they're going to hunt and sustain themselves and dig in a bit.
Well, remember that they're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are 11 miles from Pax Tharkus, and the dragon army will eventually come through that gate again.
Yeah, but they're never going to look that close. They're fine.
Okay. Okay.
I'll stop.
Oh. Okay,
I don't know what to do. You guys, like, I'm not good at strategy like this, y'all. Somebody else needs to fucking help here.
You rest the night. Rook,
I think we should...
do you stay in the wilderness the entire night, or at some point do you return to the camp?
Rook's going to stay out in the wilderness, just so he's got eyes on the rear to make sure everyone's okay.
I think we should go as a party west.
And I'll stay out west. I'll wait for someone to signal me to come back into camp.
Okay.
Or I'll go running unless I see something and I'm running into camp. That's the whole purpose.
The night comes with me west, and then we send Steve and another group east. We got our 2 toughest guys.
And me.
I don't want to split the party.
I think we should stay together as a party and all go west.
Split the party. What? We're all going west?
That's what the song says.
Okay. So the entire group gets up in the morning, grabs some rations, and then walks west and finds Rook, or Rook probably finds you.
We should probably take all the rations just to be safe.
Fuck me. What a night.
No.
Could you be a bigger asshole?
What's the oath about defend the weak? At one point, we couldn't stop you from jumping in front of bullets from these adventures, and now you're like, well...
That dragon really messed you up, man.
We'll be fine.
I was really close with Gilfinus, and I'm mourning. I'm in mourning.
Okay.
Grieving.
I'm in mourning.
Okay.
You're so full of shit, your eyes are brown.
What was it that you said? Sense motive?
Yeah. So the party is traveling...
Forgot how to play, guys.
The party is traveling from this hex here, so we're going 1, 2, and we pick up Rook along the way, right?
Yep.
And then you're traveling back to the road, 3, 4, and this is sort of 5, 6. And then are you crossing the mountains here?
Might as well.
So that would be 7.
Let's do it.
8. And then head south, I guess.
You want to head south?
What's going on? Where are we going?
Like down this way?
I don't know. Somebody other than me needs to make this choice.
Well, we're looking for a lake, right?
Yeah. Well, he
This
He
looks
sort of-
familiar, guys.
Before the
he
cataclysm.
sort of recalls
Yeah.
that there was a hill dwarf town near a lake somewhere around here.
This looks familiar, guys. I think a little bit to the southwest, there's a lake.
Actually, what I think we should probably have happen is have the rangers go off and look for signs of track. So any signs of people that would have been coming or going with wagons, or cutting trees, or doing hunting. Dwarves, whether it's a dwarf, elf, or whatever, they would have to have done stuff like that and look for signs like that. And the more signs we find, that'll probably lead us in the correct direction.
Or ogres.
Could
So,
be ogres, but we
listen.
would tell by the tracks.
So you make your way
But
back.
ogres will-
You make your way back and you reach the road again. Okay? So the broken remains of an ancient roadway glitter now with windswept ice. Here and there, old monuments of stone jut from the frozen ground, and their surfaces are covered with snow-filled ruins. And to the south, the roadway continues, and a set of short footprints go in that direction. Rook and Kira, Rook and Kira can immediately recognize them as being draconian footprints.
Okay.
And they passed this way not long ago.
Like, is it one set or a whole bunch of sets, or?
They walked in single file to conceal their numbers.
Oh, so they're sand people.
You think a party of at least a dozen.
Well, Rook volunteers to go chase them down. Let's see what they're up to.
We're not splitting this party up 3 different freaking ways.
So they are
Why not?
just to be clear, they are traveling. Can you see my arrow?
Yeah.
They
went
were
on the road,
traveling
they're not going that way.
on the roadway south.
Mm-hmm. So they're
And just to be
paralleling
clear-
what we're doing.
Just to be clear.
Steve is the dumb one.
Yes.
And
No, that's it. Just we got to stop making dumb
Self-proclaimed.
decisions.
I'm gonna draw a circle. This is where your refugees are currently. The red circle is where your refugees are currently encamped.
Can you show me where I'm assuming that these dragon tracks are here?
The dragon tracks went this way, like from where you are. Oops, that's not what I want. I want this. So the dragon tracks are headed south on the road.
Yeah, exactly what I was worried about. They follow this road because they can go faster on road than our guys can go through beaten through bush. They may be the force that's going to try to get up and set up here to catch us in this spot in between with a bunch of people with wagons.
Let me be clear. There only looks to be about a dozen of them.
And they don't know where we are.
Do they? It wouldn't have been hard to find us.
Well, that was
Or
your
to follow
job
the track.
to cover the trail at the back, so you failed.
Listen, with the snow squalls last night that you were walking through and everything, you're not entirely certain that your trail wouldn't have been covered.
We're so scared.
Well,
We've died enough. We're so scared.
I'm not scared. I want to go see what they're up to.
What would Gilfinus do?
You're just gonna push that button, aren't you?
Jesus.
Okay, let's just go southwest across the ridge and like here and head
All
south
right.
there.
Okay.
Well, so the pass is what that we went through to the west was like here.
There is a pass to the west here. Like you can literally go through the mountains right where I put the party eye.
Okay.
Well, I figured
Okay.
that was what the plan was, right? We go through that pass and then explore like this area over here or here.
So is that the plan then?
Yep.
Okay. So when you get to the other side, you guys climb that mountain again. Heavy breathing. Your altitude is significantly higher here than any of the other places we've been. And below you, on the other side of the pass, are snow-filled canyons, gently sloping upwards. I'm not saying so deep you can't walk through it, but there is a fresh coat of snow over everything on this side.
So lots of trail breaking.
The canyon runs sort of roughly north or south here.
Well, at least fresh snow muffles sound.
The northern pass looks would be easier to travel for your refugees.
Will we be able to see this big peak or whatever this is from where we are?
Yes, you can.
Does anybody know what mountain that is?
That just screams Dwarven stronghold.
That screams mountain dwarf to me.
Yeah. Just screams it. If I were a mountain dwarf, that's the mountain I'd be in.
But we're looking for hill dwarves. Or really anybody, I guess.
I'm going to say, at this point, aren't we just looking for anybody to take 300 people off our hands so we can go kill dragons?
Yeah.
Fair.
Not to be too much of a knight, but I think we should go murder some things.
I already killed that guy, so I think we're fine.
So do you want to head in the direction of the mountain?
Yeah.
How fast can we get there? We're on a timeline. That's the only problem.
Well, we're going to spend most of the day just getting through the pass and up to the canyon, right?
You can make it here. Before.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. Well, let's go there then.
that is at which point, if you're going to be back in camp by tonight, you would have to turn around.
Well, let's go there and I guess see what we see and make a decision from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we could always split the party at that point and send a couple back to the council.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So you move north through the snow-filled canyon. You can't help but notice occasionally how beautiful it is. You know, the mountains, the fresh snow. And you round the end of the canyon, and that's when you can see the canyon opens onto a great mountain bowl, rimmed by majestic peaks, and in the center of the bowl, a single mountain peak towers into the sky. The wind howls and snow spirals upwards here. Several canyons open into this bowl, one to the north, one to the east, and 3 to the south. So we have one. Here's the. Oh, my pinger is not. You've come through the one to the east, right? And then there's 3 to the south here, and then there's another one to the north up here that you can see from where you are. Kira.
Mm-hmm.
You seem so impressed. Here's where we die.
Kira, down in down in the valley, standing in the snow, you see this.
Oh, fuck.
We know where to go.
And he's looking back at you.
Does anybody else see it?
Nope.
Like,
Kira just sighs heavily and says, fuck, I know where to go.
Oh, that's great.
When you admit to that...
How do you know that?
When you admit to that, the stag turns and runs through the center valley to the south.
We have to go through the
how
center
do you know
one.
that, sister?
I look at Steve and say,
The party is
I
currently...
saw it again.
The party is currently... The party is currently right here, and at this point, if you don't head back now, you will not make it back to the camp. Like right now, if you go back, you'll be there sort of just after nightfall.
You guys can go back, but I'm gonna keep going.
Is this where we make a split and send some with you and some back to camp?
query, DM.
Yep.
Did that barmaid follow us? Is she with us as well?
Tika is with you. Yep. Lorana is
Good.
not. Lorana stayed with
You know what? You guys go down to the east. I'll go back, bring the train back up. That way, you guys can stay with Kira and go see what's going on ahead. I'll bring the party back up, or at least get those plainsmen to get the party turned around and brought up. And once I know they're on the right path, I can always catch up to you guys later.
Do you
Yeah, I
think
guess
they'll
worst
actually
case-
follow without Krennic?
I think so. They're pretty scared. We can make it happen. You know what? I'll just tell them Brannick said. Then I'm gonna go.
Grinnick thinks he might be onto the Dwarven stronghold, so
Yeah,
we're gonna
that's
get them
exactly
to
what
move in
I'll tell 'em.
advance. But I wouldn't suggest that. I'm a knight. I would never suggest lying, but I thought
I
would.
suggest it.
I'm a ranger.
Rook, I'll leave ranger marks for you.
Not
Yeah,
a
we'll chop
problem.
down some trees.
Don't worry.
That's what you
So
were
I'll
doing
take,
before,
I'll
right?
yeah, you guys just carry on, and I'll take off back. That way you guys can do some more exploring,
Okay, Rook.
Tika,
and I can get. And by myself, I can get there faster than with you
Yes.
guys as a group.
Tika, you go with him.
I don't want to go.
No,
with
it's faster if I go by myself. And
Thanks
with
a
that,
lot
Rook's
for
gone.
helping me out there, Ranger. I was trying to get out of harm's way. So
Yeah,
much for
right.
that plan. All right, get in line.
you. Okay.
I'm
Tika.
gone. And with that, Rook has gone back to the camp. Gone back to
Tika,
get the.
you stand with Worm.
Okay, so Rook heads back to camp. And where did the rest of you go?
I follow the stag.
You're gonna cross the valley here?
I follow my sibling.
I would like skirt along the edge there. I would not just walk right out in the middle of the fucking valley.
Okay.
She's dumb, but not that.
I
dumb.
would.
I'll march
I will.
confidently down the center of the valley.
You're learning,
She
Kara.
grabs you
You're
by
learning.
the freaking ear and yanks you off to the side and says, "Stop being a moron. Let's go.
As long as you don't touch the mustaches, we'll get along fine.
If you keep doing this, I will cut it off.
I will
Now
cut
let's
it.
go."
I will cut you.
Hey,
Hey,
Bobbit.
you know what? Worm hasn't got to do much in a little while. Worm, roll me a D100, please.
She was lighting
boy.
fires all last night with... Never mind.
And I was sleeping.
Don't want to roll a D100.
You don't want to?
I dare you.
33.
33. Okay. All right.
Oh, probably the worst number you could have rolled.
More than likely.
I love it.
This is where we all die.
Yay!
7 is the,
Thanks a lot,
7
Worm.
is the cabbage on the.
Yeah.
So by the time you reach the other side of the valley,
Did you say cabbage? I'm very confused. Carry on.
Yeah.
the sun is going down fast. It's getting dark.
Sun's getting real low.
Sun's getting real low. Rook, I take it. Can I assume you're double timing?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
probably triple
he-
timing.
He's not like full time running, but he's like in a light jog, doing his like stealthily going as fast as he can. But he's moving.
So
He's a quiet sprinter.
Kira, you get your group to here on the map where I've got the eye now,
Okay.
and you look down into a forest, and beyond the forest, you can see a lake.
Rapunzel.
And in the twilight of the coming evening, you think you can even see some lights down by the edge of that lake.
I suggest we push on.
Yeah, it's best to attack them at night.
Nobody is attacking anybody.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Look at Worm. You're
Okay.
supposed to know better.
He's not allowed to have a break this long again because
Who, the
something
knight?
broke.
Yeah, something's
fucking broke.
Something's very different about the night. Okay, so the party has traveled another 5 hexes.
I think he's fine.
The party traveled 5 hexes. I'm going to say Rook on his own has made it all the way back now. The 10 hexes, going double time. So you arrive and, at first someone sees you approaching. There's maybe a guard that yells, some sort of signal is sent out. And then not long, everybody's like, it's Rook, it's okay. Rook's back. Rook is back. And Lorana and Elliston are first to find you. And Lorana looks you up and down. She says, "Well, you don't look too worse for wear. Where's
Of course not.
Where's the others?"
They found a pass for you. I need to see I want to speak to the herdsman. I want to speak to the head herdsman, or plainsman. Sorry.
Okay.
And
so it's not.
And any other leaders that are here, but I definitely need to speak with the head plainsman.
Okay. Well, it's not long before Briar's there then.
Yeah. So I explain what's going on. I go, look, my team's found something. And I kind of show them all, like I just draw it out the map on the ground, like in the snow. And here's where we are. Here's where it is. This is plainsman. It's up to you to get them there. I have to get back. I'll leave tracks. I'll leave signs for you when I head back. But I got to go marry back up with my party. I need you guys to get them there. Now, and I also show them where I saw the tracks of the dragons, where the Dragonborn were going. So they're going to have to move stealthily, which means if they have to, it's going to take them a whole day to get to where we were. And I said, you got to keep the noise discipline. Fire's down. I said, but we're running low on food. So everyone has their bow and sling. That means you guys are shooting squirrels, birds, whatever you can put in the pot, you put in the pot. It's not about whether it tastes good. It's whether or not it's food or not. That's what you guys have got to do, but you've got to move them. And it's up to all of you plainsmen. And I'm looking at all of them going, you're the guys. You know how to do this. You've done it. You've all been born in saddles. Get them there.
So
you got it?
Briar says you want us to move through the night?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You guys have got to go. You got to get everyone.
He sort of looks to the others that are there, and everyone seems to be nodding in agreement. And they quickly begin to break camp.
Mm-hmm. I'll stay with them till they get moving. Once they get moving, that's when I'll take off. Okay. I'll stay with them for a bit until they start getting moving, and then I'll just do my ranger thing and just head off.
Are the rest of you moving towards those lights that you saw by the lake?
Yep.
Okay.
Unless they're will-o-wisps.
They could be.
God. Yeah.
They could be. Kira, you start moving through the forest, and can you give me a tracking roll? Oh, Ranger of mine.
22.
Good stuff. Lower is better, remember. Lower is better. You start to notice a number of game trails. There's probably a decent population of deer in these woods.
Perfect.
Keeping any signs out for the white stag.
Yeah, you have not seen the white stag again, but that's when you see the paw print of a wolf about twice the size of what a wolf should be.
Oh, great.
And it looks like there's a pack of them.
Even better. I point this out to everybody and say, sharp teeth, not good.
If we learned anything from Game of Thrones, dire wolves make great pets.
They make great pets. Benedict's already rolling in this shit. Fantastic. Okay. Listen, we get our ranger on his way back to the party, and when you reach here, the road again, you are... The sun has gone down. The 3 moons are in the sky. The red moon and the white moon shining bright. And far, you're high up, right? So looking down that road to the north. In the distance, Rook sees clouds of snow rise from the ground as though kicked up by some tremendous wind.
Or by a whole lot of people walking.
And soon the spark of torches can be seen.
Shit. How far? You know what? Instead of going where I'm going to mark where I want these guys to go, and I'm going to go down to see how close those people are coming to it. Wait, if I can see torches, they're within a kilometer.
No, they're more than a kilometer. You're seeing light. You're seeing light from Pax Tharkus. way down
From
the map.
pack.
Way down the
Like,
map.
I guess what I want to know.
I tried to justify this. I'm like, how far away in the dark could you actually see that, right? But
Depends on how high up you are, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
The module basically says though that you at this point recognize that the dragon armies are probably back inside Pax Tharkus. You can see torchlight, huge clouds of snow probably being thrown in the air probably means the gates have been opened.
What I'm worried about is our guys are basically coming back up to cut across.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like the army's coming this way.
Yeah, they
What's
should,
the time distance?
They should make it as long as they are moving. They should cross this road before any forces get this far up from Pax Tharkus. You think? Like this is.
You know what? Ruck's gonna run back to where the main body is of the people, and he's just gonna work on getting them over that hill.
So
before
listen, it's about it's about 5 miles for the refugees, and it's about 8 to 9 miles for any forces of Pax Tharkus to reach the road where you are.
Yeah, but they'll be moving slower. So I'm gonna run back just to make sure that they know to speed it up.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Let's have
get them to walk backwards so it looks like they went the other way.
Let's have our brave knight give us a D100 roll. And I just had.
We're so fucked.
My roll 20 just rebooted. What did you roll?
A 99, sir.
A 99. I'm looking for
everybody's ready to fight some wolves.
Percentiles. I'm looking for low numbers.
Did they make great pets?
Low numbers.
Steve wants to ride one.
Listen, you.
I like doggies. I want to pet them.
You come out the other side of the forest, and you find what appears to be a small town nestled against the lake. A village of sorts lies beside the frozen lake, and wisps of smoke rise from lodge pole buildings and curl into the air. A number of people at the village see you, and you can see that they appear to be dwarves, most likely hill dwarves.
And is there any sign of draconian influence?
No,
or anything like that?
You don't see anything like that.
We all hide behind Grinnick.
Let's put our best dwarf forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
with his invisible body.
She's not here.
Set up on my computer screen. You got to warn me next time.
Are you going to? Are we going to have her come visible?
She's probably better off staying invisible unless he needs her. Now, she also will look more magical if she takes it off later, which gives her more air of mystery.
So, a number of hill dwarves approach you.
I'm guessing
15 in total. They're wearing, chain shirts, round shields, and axes. They're not. You can tell that they're obviously suspicious of you, and they make their way up towards you.
I'd step out and I would say, "Hail, brother."
Hail.
And I would say,
Yo.
What's up?
I would say,
how you doing?
I need to talk to you, Dad.
Let me just check your. I have to check your charisma here, my man. Dump stat what? Okay. We got a 13. That's not bad. Can you roll your reaction dice there? If you look down beside charisma, you'll see a little d20 with the react there.
On my character sheet?
Yeah, right on your character sheet, beside charisma.
There we go.
66. +5. Nicely done. Okay. They pause. They certainly don't immediately attack or anything like that. And they say, it's been a long time since we've seen men and elves? What brings you into the mountains, brother?
We're in need of your help, lad.
What sort of help?
The kind that requires helping a lot of other people. Many other people.
What sort of help?
Well, we have elderly and children and wounded. We would need shelter for them. And we would need to be able to hunt your land. We're trying to keep these people safe.
He says you'll need to speak to Zurkin. He's the chieftain. That's
Aye, lad, show me the way.
Your friends stay here. You come alone.
No, sir.
You can
This is
see
my team.
You can see a number of heads poking out windows and things like that in the village. He says, "No, there's many strange folk that walk the forests in recent times. You come alone or not at all."
Well, I guess I'm going.
You gonna bring your sister still?
Yeah, she's gonna follow. She'll get me to stop doing dumb things.
So she's gonna trail. Is she invisible or is she? Yeah.
She's invisible.
I don't know, guys.
Okay.
She still is invisible?
If we ever needed copper. If we ever needed copper to be here.
Yeah, sorry, she's too busy. I tried to talk to her. She
That's okay.
Can't even do that.
That's okay.
Anything that happens now, it's all Copper's fault.
Yeah, that's it.
So
she hasn't enough problems in real life.
Your two dwarven friends are brought into town to a bit of almost like a longhouse meeting hall and taken inside. And as you see them disappear, there's still about half a dozen dwarves standing out not far from you, sort of between you guys and the town, you guys in the village, and you see the doors close behind Krynn. And we'll take our break there.
Oh.
Have a drink.
All right.
Use the washroom. That
yeah.
sort of thing.
Perfect.
Talk amongst yourselves. We'll be right back, everybody. Go. We are back. Okay, so inside the Great Hall there, Krynn, you see a dwarven, obviously a dwarven lord, with a nightshirt on, sort of throwing over his more respectable attire, and then sitting down on basically a throne, but it's just a really extravagant wooden chair at the end of his hall. And he looks down at you, and there's a whole bunch of dwarves gathered in here. And one of the dwarves moves up to him and lets him know that you're looking for assistance. He looks down at you and says that his name is Zurkin. of the Nidar, which is another name for Hill Dwarf. What can...
Chief Zurkin, it's an honor to meet you, sir.
And your name?
Grynn Sparkhammer, at your service.
Sparkhammer. This name is familiar to me.
Maybe it's because of the metals that we create. Like this hammer. And I offer him the hammer to look at.
He takes a look at it and do you have a brother? If I recall.
An older one.
This is his craftsmanship or your own?
It is a family-run business. We worked on it together.
He admires it for a moment and then hands it back to you.
Sir, we're in need of your assistance. We have been through quite a bit. We have about 600 refugees that require some assistance. We would need shelter for our injured and our elderly and our children, and access to your lands for hunting for the rest. If we do not help these people out, they will be slaughtered.
Slaughtered? By who?
Armies are marching. You have not seen them yet?
There have been some strangers that have traveled through our vale recently. You're not the first to come this way, but nothing of armies.
Well, to the northeast, there's a lot going on, lad. We're talking dragons. We're talking draconian armies. We just made it out with the skin of our teeth.
You get a little bit of a chuckle through the hall. They're like, dragons? There's no dragons.
That is not correct. The gods have returned. The dragons have as well.
Your mention of the gods returning shuts everybody up. You should not speak this way, my friend Grynn.
I, sir, am living proof. I'm a transcended cleric.
Now you've really got their attention. You feel like you could hear a pin drop in the room. The crackling of the fire is all that sort of you hear.
I'll prove it to you. Bring me your wounded.
And they bring someone out. A dwarf. Has some sort of a wound on his hand. A cut. But you can already hear whispers around the room that, like, there may be someone else here that you can help. But they bring this dwarf forward.
When I said wounded, I did not mean a little paper cut. He's a dwarf. He'll live. Is there anyone that's worse?
Zurkin motions for you to follow, and he exits through the back of the hall. And a number of his guards sort of step in on... 4 guards step in on all sides of you.
Is there enough room for Copper to go in there, or
she thinks she can, as long as she can get through the door before it closes. So do you go with him?
What is this?
They say follow the chieftain.
Aye.
So you go through the sort of the back halls of the Great Hall here, and you're brought to a bedroom. and there's a lantern burning low, and there's a child's bed, not a full-grown person's bed, like a full-grown dwarf. There is a woman sitting beside the bed, and it looks like she's sat here for quite some time. There's an empty cup, and there's like maybe a few stacked plates where she's obviously been eating here. Zurkin looks at you and says that this is his son. And the boy, in dwarven years, he might be about 18, 19. He says, and he's covered with many blankets. And his breathing is sort of ragged. Zurkin tells you that this is his son, and he fell through the ice two nights ago. And although they rescued him and brought him in, he has an issue breathing.
Would just I have a question about the spell. Does cure serious wounds? Would that help him?
You think the boy actually has like pneumonia?
So that wouldn't help him.
Cure disease would.
It should temporarily.
Cure disease would do it.
Cure disease would clear him up.
Oh yes, that's the one I used last time. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely pop that off.
Oh, so
I want to prove to these guys. That it's real, so they follow us.
So you move up to cast Cure Disease, and the woman sees your symbol of reorcs, and she almost gasps when she sees it. She's obviously taken back, but a gasp would be unlordly. And as a noblewoman, she manages to not have that sort of reaction. She sort of reaches out for it and says, may I? And you think she wants to touch it.
I laugh.
She holds it in her hand, and she rubs the metal between her thumb and her forefinger. And she says, I haven't seen one of these since I was a little girl.
Did your father know this symbol?
She looks at her husband almost sternly and says, we all knew this symbol at one time.
Well, the gods are back, lady. I am living proof, and we need your help. I will help this boy to prove it to you.
She steps back so that you can reach the bed.
Okay.
And then you're going to cast Cure Disease?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, it's almost instantaneous. The little kid takes a very deep breath and sort of just drifts off into the most peaceful of sleep that he could possibly have, able to breathe finally again. The woman immediately rushes to the bed and, falls across her son's legs. She doesn't cry, but you can tell that she's like really squeezing him. Of the 4 guards that brought you in, one of them turns tail and rushes out almost immediately. And the Lord looks at you and says, you bring your people here. I can't offer them much, but at least 48 hours we can give them. I can't afford to run our food supplies any lower than that.
Aye, lad. And you got to remember, these are workers. They will work for you too. They will help you out. But we'll take your offer. May my friends join us.
Of course, we'll make room in the hall for those that are here with you, and in the morning we can make preparations for when the others arrive.
Thank you, Chief.
So
I kind of walked my way out.
Yep. When you walk out, that guard that fled the room has already told the dwarves in the Great Hall. And as you step back into the Great Hall to walk across out the front door to your friends, everyone takes a knee. And Grinnick sort of walks tall between them. And then opens the door to the outside. Word starts to spread through the town like wildfire, and the party is welcomed into the town, and you stay the night in the long hall, warm, dry.
Yeah, that's more like it. It's cold out here.
And the dwarves bring you some food and some mead. The mead is particularly fantastic for those that drink it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Steve's gonna get really drunk.
Really drunk?
Unless his sister stops him. If it's good meat, it's been a while.
Tika will stop you.
Tika's not. Oh wait, she's still here, didn't she?
Yeah, she came. I mean, yeah, she's here.
So, you not only do you have amazing mead, but like the bread, they bring this honey for you to dip it in, and the honey is like you've never tasted better. And you soon learn that there is a massive giant beehive near the town that they harvest this from.
Eggs. I don't really care where it came from. I'm going to eat all of it.
You know that giant bees, particularly if you can get their the queen, like in the queen's chamber, there's something called royal jelly.
Royal jelly.
Mm-hmm.
It acts not only does it act like a potion of extra healing, but it also has the side effect of curing diseases. It would easily sell for 3,000 to 8,000 steel pieces per pot, like per potion. Massive value there. As you guys are all sitting and eating and drinking, Zurkin's wife comes out and asks if Grinnick would come with her for a moment.
I think during the exchange, when we're all showing up, his sister probably took her cloak off and just included herself in the ranks.
Okay.
So, unless someone thinks otherwise.
So Grinnick, she takes you into the cellars beneath the longhouse, into the tombs, and she takes you to a family tomb, and there on the tomb there is a suit of chainmail, a shield, and a battle axe. She says to you, I lost my oldest boy to the wolves in the valley. I lost a daughter to a cough in her first year. You've now given me back my last child. These are my family's heirlooms. They are yours to take.
Oh, milady, I appreciate everything. Thank you, thank you. It was my pleasure and honor to have helped your son.
She says, my father and mother walked in the light of Riorx, and you have brought that back.
Spread the word, milady.
She says, I will. And you'll spread it as well, in this armor. And if that weapon does not suit you, I would ask that you perhaps give it to your dwarven companion.
Aye.
So, it is a, the battle axe is +2, the shield is +1, and the suit of chainmail is +3.
I would definitely give the axe up to
Okay.
Grinlead. Can she use it?
She can, yep. Yep.
I would give that to her, and then I would keep the shield and the chainmail.
Okay. So,
She did kind of want me to wear it and show it off, you know.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Your sister didn't save her son. I'll add those to your character sheet here. You have a suit of chainmail +1. I don't know what Grenlead's wearing. You could always trade up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grenlead's
I'll take
just...
the +3?
Yeah, the chainmail's +3.
Yeah. I can give the other one up if she does. I don't know what she's wearing.
Okay, let me make that change quick on your character sheet here. Oh, you already have a shield +1. I did not know that.
Oh, I do?
Yep. But that's what the module says you get, so let's do this. So your armor class drops to 0 with your new chainmail.
Nice.
Grenlead, you're going to give her the battle axe +2.
Yep, and the chainmail +1.
She has a regular shield. Do you want to give her your shield, the other shield +1 as well?
Yep.
Okay. +1.
She's not even here, and she has better gear than I do.
By another 2. There you go. Okay, that's all that stuff's been added.
Yeah, if this is going to be any kind of habit, I'm not going to be here for the next 2 weeks.
So listen, let's while you guys rest and sleep off your mead, Rook, you get everyone across that road before there's any sightings or anything like that. And if you can see where the blue circle is right now, that's where you're encamped. That's as far as they get that day. I would assume that Rook keeps a watch that night. And,
you got it.
Yeah.
Rook's going full ranger.
You never go full ranger. So
you go full ranger. I'm going full ranger.
There are howls and things like that throughout the night. You start to hear a pack of wolves in the valley below, and maybe under the light of the red and white moon, you see a pack of direwolves bring down a deer.
Well, that's good. At least they'll be fed.
Not close enough to be of any danger to your encampment. Plus, with the numbers, you don't think the direwolves would come close, but there's definitely direwolves in the area.
Since I'm gone full ranger, I'll let the plainsmen know.
Yep.
And just say, keep the wagon circled. Show them how to make small fires, because these guys are bushmen too, right? Or
yep.
Skill, make small fires. Keep a watch on, keep everyone there. It looks like they're well fed. I saw them take down a deer, so we don't have to worry about them coming in here. But keep all the livestock inside the the circle and keep everyone together. And watch is on everywhere.
Okay.
And think I will spend since there's the wolves out there. Oh, they just eaten. So you know what? I'll use this as my opportunity to go catch up with my friends.
Well, you would
If
have
the
to
wolf
go you would have to go through the valley where the wolves are.
But the wolves just killed a deer, so that
Yeah.
means they're fed. So they won't be
Okay.
as patrolly as they would be, say, when
Fair enough.
it's breakfast time, we're hungry.
So once
I'm gonna go now.
Once you can't see them anymore, they've finished off the kill. You cross, and so by morning, I'm going to say that you reach the Dwarven village. Your friends are probably awake and greet you.
So I'll let them all know that that I got everybody to the valley. They're on their way this way.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, did you guys see those dire wolves? Like, wow, there's dire wolves here.
What is a dire wolf? Is that like a big puppy?
Yeah, let's go with a big puppy. Only a big puppy that'll bite your arm off.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just a puppy.
Worm.
Yes.
A couple little Dwarven kids come up to you in the morning. Maybe your I don't know. What would maybe your routine be in the morning?
Probably just prepping my spell book.
Okay. I think that's great, actually. So they spot you with that book, and they come over, and they're like, "Can you make it snow like the old man?"
No. What old man?
The old man that walks through the mountains.
No. Is that some sort of folk tale of some sort?
No. What's his name? And they start to sort of talk amongst themselves. They're like, maybe you know him. He has like white robes and a big white floppy hat.
Père Noël?
Père Noël? No, his name was shorter than that. It was like Dizzy or something.
Gandalf?
Gandalf?
No, I don't know who that is.
One of the kids goes, I think it was Fizz something. And then like another kid puts together and goes, Fizbin. That was his name, Fizbin. Do you know Fizbin?
Do I know Fizbin?
No.
No.
Who doesn't know Fizbin?
Never heard of them.
But if there's a man who can make it snow walking the mountains in white robes, he could be from the White Tower, which would
perfect, great person I want to go talk to.
They're like you would like him. He talks silly.
I love how we have to hide from the good guys too. Like we can't just go. Yes, and you're with us, which means we have to. We can't just get help. No.
They're like, he stops in the village now and then, and he can make it snow.
Well, that's really cool.
You can't make it snow?
No, I can do something else.
He has a fancy book like that.
That's good. I can do this, and I'll send up like a burning hands flare.
A big gout of flame.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all run for their lives. They're
okay.
They're all like, fire! And they're running off.
I'm not good with children.
So they run away in fear of your fire, and Sir Knight, there's a few dwarves checking out your armor in the morning.
Excellent.
They're like, we've heard of Knights of Salamnia. We thought you were some kind of joke.
I'm not laughing.
He never laughs. He's not very funny.
Is that the best, is that the best a human can do for a beard? And they point at your mustache.
How dare you, sir?
Well, look at mine! And they're all like this massive, bushy, dwarf beards.
It's a very impressive dwarven beard.
Could probably
Knights
put you to
of
shame.
Solamnia only grow a mustache. If I were to grow a beard, it would put yours to shame, sir.
They start laughing. I would like to see that! I would like to see that! So where are you going, brave knight? With half a beard?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
They don't get it at first.
I don't get it either.
They're like, what does that mean?
That's a human thing. Don't worry. It's fine.
Well, where are your people headed? We hear that you're allowed. We hear that your friends are allowed to stay here for a couple days.
Well, my people are the group that's already here.
Mm-hmm.
The other group that's going to stay for a bit is a bunch of refugees we're sort of helping at the moment.
Refugees?
Yes, from the dragon armies.
Oh, yes. They mentioned dragon armies last night, and one of them's like, well, they said they could heal, and, they helped Zurkin's son, so who knows what's true. Isn't that right, Knight?
Absolutely.
Gods are back, dragons are back, and knights are in our mountains.
Dragons are back for sure.
Dragons are back for sure, and gods are back, not just the good ones.
What do you mean by that?
You're aware that there's good gods and evil gods, yes?
Yeah.
Well, if one returns, they all return.
Yeah, but there's no evil gods around here. Am I right?
Today, who knows what tomorrow brings? Be prepared.
Such a naysayer. You worry too much, knight with half a beard.
You know how close you are to Pax Tharkus?
Pax Tharkus?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Elven Fortress.
It's not Elven anymore. That's where the dragon armies are marshalling.
You don't say.
Yeah, the refugees are actually were imprisoned at Pax Tharkus. We rescued them and fled south.
And you and your knights rode in and saved them?
No. Me and my party.
Ha
The 7 of us.
These people.
Yes.
You'll need to tell us more over a drink, perhaps.
Well, your meat is strong and very tasty.
Comes from a big nest to the west.
I would like to see that nest.
Well, come on, we'll take you.
Excellent. Worm to me.
Okay.
Have you ever been stung by a giant bee, knight?
No.
You'll shit your pants. Soil your armor.
You ever been bitten by a rodent of unusual size?
No.
Stings like a mother.
Are you going to go fight something?
Like tromping over.
Perhaps.
Wait. We can't fight the bees. Dead bees don't make honey.
They don't sting either.
Don't worry, we won't get close enough. I don't want you to shit yourself. Come on. Come on, knight.
If there's something you don't want them to fight, don't put them anywhere near it.
Is that what you say?
What about the wolves?
Is that what you say?
Yes.
The wolves.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I heard there's giant bees and giant wolves.
There's lots of big things in this valley.
Yeah, so now one more with
Yes,
me.
You're looking at one of them.
There's Snarl. He's a giant bear.
Can I wrestle that?
We don't bother him either.
I was looking
Kira,
for a
can
mount.
I wrestle that?
You want to wrestle a bear?
Yes.
They say, I don't think
Start with a B.
You're big, human, but you're not that big. Steve just chuckles. So anybody who would like to go...
He chuckles and he looks at the knight and goes, wait, I think I got this now. That's not what your mom says.
Oh, God. So
Did I do that right?
the dwarves...
Yeah.
The
I just
dwarves are
high-fived
taking...
Steve.
The dwarves are willing to take anybody who would like to come to see the...
You're just glares at
To see the
Benedict for
giant
teaching
bees.
that to
who is going to see the giant bees? Who is not going to see the giant bees?
I'm going with my brother because he's going to get himself in trouble.
If I'm not allowed to kill him, I don't want to go.
Yeah,
I can't ride one.
The dwarves are like, you can't kill them.
Are they big enough I can ride?
You'd probably get stung. So if you're willing to take...
That's not the question I asked.
Okay, yes, they're big enough
If
to
you're
ride.
willing to shit your pants, then yes, you can ride them.
Yes, they're probably big enough to ride if you didn't have all your armor on, they say.
All right. Challenge accepted. I'm going to go with them.
Okay.
Rook's gonna just crash out at the longhouse, get something to eat because he's been pretty much on the go
you've
for the
been going
past
all
48
night.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the past 40 hours, I'm going hard. So I'm just gonna, you guys go have fun shitting yourself with bees.
Oh, fuck.
Grinnick, what were you saying?
Oh, I said I'm going to go to the bees.
Okay. So it sounds like we're all
The bees.
all going to the bees except for Rook, who's like catching up on food and sleep.
Antisocial.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna miss
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
He's trading in bees for
Yeah,
Z's.
yeah. Rook's getting something to eat and gonna rack out by the fire. Just you have fun. And I kind of look at Kira and I go, I got 10 steel pieces. Says that Steve does something stupid. Like
I'm not
AKA,
taking that bet. I know he's gonna do something stupid. Why do you think I'm going along?
he comes back with shitty pants with the soiled armor.
So you guys go to the far west end of the valley here. Can you see where I'm pinging?
Do we see the people coming?
And no, you haven't yet.
All right.
It'll take them the majority of the day though to get here. Like they should be here by nightfall. Once you're over there, it's not long before you can actually see these bees. They're as big as a man. And, like
Big as what, sorry?
as big as a man.
Those are some giant bees.
A woe man.
It's almost
And-
like
Oh.
they said.
And they are like they make a hell of a buzz when they fly overhead. Anyone who has any sort of dislike for things buzzing around their head, like when they fly by, they're a good 30-40 feet off the ground, and yeah, it's a serious noise. And they are coming in and out of a cave along the mountain ridge at the western end of this valley.
Yay.
The
And
very first TPK was to a giant nest of these things.
was it?
Yep.
Let's do it again. So
Okay.
Yay.
there's four dwarves there with you. You can see that there's piles of wood outside the cave. And
What's that for?
Smoke them out.
he goes, you gotta smoke them. It calms them down. You just don't
Hey,
go.
worm.
You just don't go into that cave without them. You know, you're not going in
Where
the
do
cave.
you find papers big enough to roll up a bee and smoke it?
It
Dude.
says you
Thank
start.
you.
You start a fire outside the cave, and then we use like fans to waft the smoke down into the cave.
Hey, worm.
Yeah?
Can you use any parts of the bees and stuff in your magic?
Not in my magic. But I
Okay.
could probably think of someone who could use it.
Like, what do you want? I'm going to go in, so I might as well get stuff while I'm there.
The dwarves like look at you. They're like, "No, you can't go in."
Yes.
We're
Yes.
gonna smoke them. It's fine.
Could you light this fire, Worm?
Yeah, I can do that.
Can you blow the smoke all in there?
I didn't prepare that spell, so no. I can just light it.
Well, let's
I'm sure the
Do you
dwarves will show
have
us how to
gust
do
of
it.
wind?
No, I don't.
Okay.
not prepared.
No,
No, I don't have it at all.
Do you have it in your spell book? I meant, yeah. Okay.
No.
Well, there are these very large hand fans. Are you going to smoke the Are you going to smoke the bees?
I start taking my armor off.
Oh Jesus!
Are you still injured?
Are you
Rook's
lighting?
getting paid.
Are you lighting the fire?
That's up to the DM how injured I am.
No, you're not. You're not. You're recovered. I hate
There
to
we
say
go.
I hate to say it, but you're recovered.
I just look to everybody else like I can.
I don't know. I don't know what your party is doing, but the dwarves are like,
I warned you not to put him anywhere near stuff because he is gonna go in there and try to ride one of those now. And ain't nothing and no one gonna stop him.
Critic's just going to stand back and just watch as this whole
okay.
political victory just matters in front of him.
All right.
He's getting ready to chant.
Okay.
Yeah. He's ready to chant.
I'm gonna do it then, because he's gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going in if it's not smoky. That's just stupid.
So you light up the wood.
Yeah.
It
I
crackles
can't
and
believe you
pops.
just lit the wood.
And the dwarves.
I pick up two fans.
Yeah, the dwarves are going to help Fan because they don't want you hurting their bees. They're like, now look, you can go in and get some honey, but you're not riding them, right? Like, you could hurt them.
Sure.
These bees
That's
are...
all I'm after.
It's Steve, right? It's Steve?
Yes.
These bees are important to us, Steve.
All right, so if I can't ride them, I got to put my armor back on.
Yes, maybe that would be a good idea. Maybe you just shouldn't go in.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. How much honey do you want?
Just like a pot, I guess.
So
You
if
just want
as
honey?
as you're talking, a bee flies out through the smoke and then off into the valley.
Is it supposed to do that?
Maybe they can carry me.
And off it goes. Steve, are you going in?
Well, my sister hasn't told me not to.
She's
I
not
think
here.
it sounds like a
She's not here.
It's
Kira's
sounds
here.
like
Never
a
mind.
great
I'm
idea.
getting the brothers and sisters mixed up.
Yeah. Unless someone stops me.
Don't die, and please don't kill anything. We need these people to help us.
All right, I'll try. I
just
promise.
Kira, if your stepbro gets stuck, you can't go in. It starts a bad chain of events. Help, stepsister, I'm stuck.
No.
He's not doing laundry. He's getting honey from the pot.
No.
So
I'm pulling a Winnie a Pooh.
Steve, in you go. And
Well, hang on a second. I need to know what I'm getting for my fucking wormy buddy here.
Do you want to tell him
cast
about the royal?
invisibility on you. Like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Do you want to?
No, you want stuff from here. What do you want? Just honey?
Just honey.
Do you tell him about the
Okay.
royal jelly that the queen might have?
Yeah.
Now that's an adventure.
But just honey. Just regular honey is fine.
Okay,
Okay.
I go.
Are you
If I'm
casting?
invisible,
Are you casting invisibility on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'm going in.
So Steve, you get down a relatively short tunnel when it opens into a room, and the walls are just caked with comb that look like with all kinds of plugged holes where they're no doubt filled with, honey or larvae.
Okay,
And-
as a woodsman, would I have a clue what they look like? As
I think you
I gone for dumbass honey before?
Well, you have never seen bees of this size.
No, but I've gone for honey before. It's stupid to do.
Sure. As you get into the cave, like a big dopey bee walks past you. Can't see you, of course. There's smoke all throughout the chamber, and it just sort of walks its way up the tunnel that you just came down.
Okay, is there honey right here then?
You can see honey everywhere here, and
Perfect.
at the far end, you can see a tunnel leading deeper.
And she did tell me about that royal jelly, didn't she?
She did mention it.
Well, let's go.
Let's go?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's been nice playing with you guys.
So as you move back into there a bit, there's even more bees. They're crawling all over the walls and that in here, and doing what bees do. And you see an opening that you have to that leads deeper in between two very narrow pieces of comb.
Surprised I can still see, actually.
Well, the smoke is actually not so bad back in here. The worst of it, you're actually thinking like there might not be a whole lot of smoke if you go down this tunnel.
Okay, I gotta stop for a second. I gotta think.
Okay.
Don't do that. You'll get yourself in trouble.
I thought I was smelling smoke because of, the...
Yeah, well, that's it. Poor Steve is trying to think about whether or not this is a great idea or not.
Everyone outside is, waiting, and the dwarves are like, has he even worked a hive, like an apiary before, maybe?
Absolutely.
Oh, he has?
I love worm.
Yes.
The entire time, Kira's just sitting here like this.
Okay, well, I'm honestly not going to risk it. This is fun, and I'm not allowed to ride any, so I'm just going to grab some honey. So I'm going to head back closer to the door
What
and
do you grab
as much
it with?
Me?
So you just you break off a piece of comb and just walk out with
And
it?
I put it on my shield. And I
Okay.
break off another chunk, and I put it on my shield.
Okay.
Until
okay.
I am like
So as you're
way
doing
down,
that,
carrying
as you're
the
doing
shield
that,
out.
there's honey goo all over your invisible form. You're sticking to everything, and
I'm gonna die.
something comes up from behind and begins to, lick you.
Okay. Yep.
And
Okay.
there's a very large bee behind you.
Okay.
Not that bees. I don't know that bees have tongues, but they have some sort of.
They have a proboscis.
Yeah, so it's like
Big long.
it's like dipping into your honey everywhere.
That's fine.
Ooh.
Poking.
It's dipping into your honey, Steve.
I'm just going to move. I am just going to move slower and rip off another piece.
Okay. You
until I can get that shield to the point where I'm going. I think I can carry that out of here.
Yeah. You're at that point.
Yep. And
Okay.
now I go.
So what you guys see emerge from the cave, Steve is invisible still, but basically you see his shield is invisible, but there is this big lump of broken comb on top of stacked, and then this drippy, gooey, yellowy form that you only
thank God
assume is
he's not
Steve
dead.
walking, but he has a bee on his back. Sort of
Oh, Steve, you made a friend.
it's on the honey with him. Another bee flies out of the smoking tunnel and off into other parts of the. And the dwarves are like, "Oh my god!"
I
tried to
warned
help.
you.
So you
I
have
didn't kill any of them.
when you start to get a little closer, maybe the smoke bothers the bee. It finally flies off of Steve, and now you have
Bye, buddy.
this gooey humanoid form in front of you.
Oh, Steve.
and a large.
I got lots of honey.
Yeah, you did, buddy.
I was going
That was
to. I
fun.
was going to have them attack you, but I really think if you're invisible, they're just like, "What is this?"
You're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing great, sweetie. Sweetie is for sure.
Ah, that was a joke. I got it.
So you guys make your way back to the Hill Dwarves.
Squish.
Steve, honey is like stuck everywhere on you.
Yeah, whatever.
What is Steve? What kind of Steve's big blonde hair? He could almost like mohawk it in the sticky honey, like just.
When I'm not carrying a ton of fucking honey, I might just do that.
Okay. Rook, and did no one else stayed at the town, right, except for Rook?
Just Rook. Yeah.
And
I'm gonna say Tika did too.
And Grendland.
Yeah.
So the only one that could have talked me out of doing the dumb shit.
The sun is almost down below the mountains when the group starts to arrive through the woods.
Tika's gonna bathe me.
I'm gonna go find the leader. I'm gonna find the leader of. Rook's gonna find the leader of the dwarves, who's our host.
Yes,
Zurkin. Politely say that they're coming. And ask if he'd like to greet them and tell them where they can. And ask him where can they and can't they go. We've got wounded and we've got elderly and sick. Where can the main body go so that they're not infringing on your village, but at the same time that...
There's a relatively large flat place beside the lake, just beside and adjacent to the town. And he says that if you'd like, you can set your wagons and your tents or whatever you're staying in out there, and that.
And the next thing I said, look, the bulk of them are human and elf. We don't have any dwarves. Is there any special laws or customs that you have, so that we don't inadvertently offend you, that we need to know about? We are pilgrims in a strange land, and this. And quite frankly, we're very honored that you have given us hospitality, and we don't want to in any way infringe upon that or cause any hurt feelings by accident. Like, we just want to make sure that we're polite to you and all your people. Is there anything that we should be made aware of? Any sacred areas that we shouldn't go to?
No.
That sort of thing.
He tells you.
Just gave him license to screw with us.
No, I'm making sure. Well, hey. We're coming to his place to ask for help. I don't want to upset him or any of his people by accident because someone took a pee in the wrong spot. What they thought was a tree, turns out it's not a tree. It's a sacred thing.
He tells you not to worry about that, and that the Nidar have a saying that it's better to die in battle than to live in cowardice. So, make mistakes, my friend. Make mistakes.
Oh, thank you. I thank him very, very kindly for his help. And I go out to meet the main herdsman, the main plainsmen, and the quote-unquote council.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them where they can go, point out to the village where they can go, and I ask them to assemble all like the sick and the wounded and the children and the elder that need severe help, so we can get them over here into the village, while the rest of people go make their camp.
Okay.
And I tell them, like, look, these are our hosts. Don't anybody do anything to upset them. If they ask questions, be polite, be thankful. I don't want anything. And I make it very clear. Anyone does anything to upset these people through stupidity or ignorance, they will answer to me directly. It will be a one-sided conversation, and it will be a walk in the woods where two go out and one come back.
Someone pats you on the shoulder and like, okay, Rook, of course.
Good. So carry on.
Lorana says to you, you need to unwind a little bit, Rook. Like, we're already all stressed out. You seem
That's his
more.
default setting. It's great.
So I look at her. I look right in the eye and go, "Is the world a safe place right now?" I said, "Are we sitting comfortable? Are we sitting?"
Do you think? Do you think I know the world isn't a safe place right now?
Are we sitting comfortably behind walls with no fear for the future, immediate future? Until that day comes, then I will relax and calm down. Right
Yeah,
now,
what would Gilpin do?
I said right now, every friend that we can make is important. I
Jeff,
would
you're
have said
such a
that.
dick.
You want to see this happening?
No, you're not there. You're with the bees.
Thank God. Because even Rook couldn't say that with a straight face.
You hear in the back of your mind, just get laid. God.
Oh, he has been in the bush a long time. That probably would help.
Lorena smiles at you. I'm gonna say she leans in like really, really close.
We'll back up, lady.
She's gonna fuck you.
She leans in really, really close, and she's like, "You need to have a little fun, maybe."
I'll have fun when this war is over.
You could be waiting a long time, and she pats you on the shoulder and just sort of walks away.
Meanwhile, Steve is completely covered in honey for no reason.
Yes. So the rest of you, as you are walking back, you are maybe you can just start to see on the horizon the lights of the town, and not only that, but you can see the lights of the encampment being built and set up and fires started, etc.
Well, pop up the house again.
Okay,
Maybe
so you're
we
like,
can sleep in it this time.
you're like, I'm gonna have to put the house up and all that, and that's when you see the dark shape in the sky come over the mountains to the north.
Oh no.
How close are the fires that we have going so far?
You're like about a mile from town. From the
Oh,
town.
okay. Well, never mind.
We got to make sure the dwarves see the stuff. So point it out, because I didn't see it.
The dark shape flies up over the mountainside, and then you see it spread its wings wide and glide down a little lower, maybe about 120 feet off the ground. The wingspan is massive, and you immediately recognize it as Ember.
Well,
And it's headed this way.
You're walking along the lakeside here, about a mile from the town. He's headed in your general direction.
gather close and I cast darkness.
Ooh. Do we all get inside the darkness? Even with Sticky Steve?
Who's still invisible, so he can stay out there.
How big is this circle?
15.
It's a 15-foot radius, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm just a walking pile of honey. Nothing to see here, dragon.
Like in the tree line, like not just this random circle of darkness, like lakeside darkness.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of tree. There's a few smaller clumps of trees around you. So you guys dart into a clump of trees and you cast darkness.
Yeah.
Steve's still invisible until he attacks something.
but covered in honey.
Yeah,
So he's technically visible.
unless
well
someone has
invisible.
licked him clean.
And he's
Wow.
maxed out. And he's maxed out carrying shit. So I don't know how many thousands of pounds of fucking comb he's got on him.
So you all dart into the darkness of the spell.
I believe Plod.
I
but
proudly
yes.
march
Does
into the.
does anyone not go into the darkness?
Well, somebody has to see what's going on, so I'll stick my head out of the darkness.
Just your mustache.
I can
Just my
stay out.
mustache
I'm already.
blowing in the wind.
I can stay out. I'm invisible. I'll just take a knee and look like a pile of something, not man-shaped.
So you watch.
Oh no, ants!
Sir. Is it Greymantle? Have I remembered that correctly?
Correct,
Sir
Greymantle.
Sir Greymantle. Ember flies not directly over your bit of woods, but not far from it. And you see him soar out over the lake and bank and head towards the town and the encampment. And in the silhouetted by the red moon, you see the outline of a familiar suit of armor on his
Aw.
back.
I thought I killed
get-
that guy.
I guess you didn't kill him.
You watch as he flies over the town, and Ember. He's low enough that Ember's dragon fear radiates across the hill dwarves and the people gathered at the camp. You can hear, even from a mile away, you hear the screams. Ember doesn't breathe, though. Maybe you now step out of the darkness as he's a significant distance from you. You just see him bank to the north towards Pax Tharkus and keep flying. And that's where we'll end for tonight.
Oh, on a like a personal note, fuck you, Jeremy.
On a personal note, I would like to.
Was that clear?
Yeah, I got that.